we asked for it.
It says it's. I'm so confused. It says I'm on the file right now. It says storage used, owned by BAM Franchising Inc. Owner Salem.or bricksandminifigs.com.
What are you looking at? This is the first that anybody has shown me that a spreadsheet was created using like Bricks and Minifigs Salem, and all of this stuff was archived. This is the first I've seen that this spreadsheet was created by Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you in our previous stream, the next time that you'd hear about Legos from me is when Coffeezilla drops his document and it's out.
Bricks and Minifigs has...
Oh, wait, that's... Whoa, dude, whoa! Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Dude, that's a Freudian clip. That was bad. All right, we'll get there. I'll explain why Legal Mindset just showed up on the screen. That was not what I expected. So Brian Mansell's GoFundMe was restored. In our previous installment, when we talked about the Brian's Lego situation, which is going to go out probably way later now than it should be, his GoFundMe has been restored. So whatever takedown notice, whatever legal thing that got sent to them, they've decided that Brian's GoFundMe is fine and it's back up. But I hear a lot of people, and this is a lot of money, guys. It's up to $459,000 of 500K. That is insane. That is more money than fucking most of these other guys have who've been crowdfunding for a while. Well, it's way more money. I think if you add up all the Ethan Klein lawsuits, I think that's below this. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But people have interesting ideas as to why GoFundMe folded. Not that they just had reports or they got a letter in their mail and they had to decide whether they were going to keep it up or not. No, actually, Legal Mindset has a different theory on why GoFundMe has folded.
A GoFundMe will essentially fold when it comes to legal defense. The thing is, their terms of service say that they're really only taking down, they're supposed to only take down things for serious crimes. We're talking felonies here. So, if something is a felony level crime, we're going to go take this down.
Sure, but the reality of what happens is people say, we're going to fucking sue you, and then they take it down, probably. Or, we're going to pursue litigation, we have a court order, you have to take this down.
Well, in this case, there's nothing but misdemeanor. So there was no reason under their own terms of...
They 100% got a court order. Well, Patreon didn't Patreon also get a court order? And then Patreon turned around and said, fuck you, sue me?
Service. If you read their own terms of service...
Yeah, they're not Patreon.
For them to actually go and take this down. This is something they should not have taken down in the first place.
To be clear, it wasn't taken down. It was temporarily removed. If all the people who were contacting said that this thing, they didn't refund it. When they take it down, they refund everybody. They remove it entirely from the site, to be clear. In this case, they were reviewing it and they didn't find that it violated their policies, so they put it back up.
And this actually probably was pushed back by people like you guys at home who are liking these videos, following, commenting.
Gag.
On this Justice Warrior, Sean Fitzgerald, who started one on competitor actual Justice Warrior, Sean Fitzgerald.
Why is actual Justice Warrior creating a Give, Send, Go when he's not affiliated with any of these people? Did Brian ask you? Dude, wait, why is... why did this guy insert himself into it?
Who started one on...
That just seems shady as fuck.
Competitor Give, Send, Go, who went out on Give, Send, Go and actually started a competitor. I think what happened is the internal PR people, and we'll...
Keep in mind, the one that got taken down on GoFundMe was Brian's Lego Fund. It was to get Brian Mansell his money that he is owed for the Legos. This one is for Reckless Ben, and it's by actual Justice Warrior.
I think what happened is the internal PR people, and we'll talk about what happened there at Bricks and Minifigs with some of their internal stuff in a second. But the people at GoFundMe panicked, seeing Give, Send, Go, a competitor up. And what they ended up doing was saying, hey, no, we've got to put this back. So,
dude, what? What are you talking about? Where are you getting this from? Oh no, Give, Send, Go. This is where the free speech guys go. It's putting enormous pressure on GoFundMe.
Actually,
where is he even coming? What is happening here?
I pulled this up just as I was about to record this at 8:22. That's Asia time, so flip it for America. It's 8:22 a.m. over there.
Dude, it's the fucking right wing is taking over. They've forced their hand.
In the U.S. they flipped that back and they put it up again. So they permitted once again the GoFundMe, which is at 456K out of 500K. Now, I still think there's a use in an alternative legal defense fund. Actual Justice Warrior Sean Fitzgerald reached out to me trying to get in contact with Ben. So Ben, if you're out there watching, please get in.
I'm sorry. I don't care what Actual Justice Warrior's plan was. If you haven't gotten in contact with somebody and you're asking for donations on their behalf on your fucking YouTube channel, I'm glad if the money went there, I'm glad it went there. You should be in contact with this person or know him personally before you start asking strangers online to fund their cause. I think that's crazy, dude. I think it's crazy to already have that up without asking.
In contact
you
with
need to contact somebody before you crowdfund on their behalf, or at the very least know them
on what to do with that legal defense fund. You need to actually be.
It was created for Ben's actual legal fund. If Ben didn't ask him to do it, if he doesn't know Ben, that's fucking bizarre. I don't fucking know this guy. He doesn't know this guy. Why the fuck would I support something that's not endorsed or even related to the guy who's actually getting the money?
Talking to people that are trying to help you and trying to coordinate these things. So, hey, Ben, go reach out to him.
I don't think he's being bad faith. Well, how much content did he make off of it? Did he mention it multiple times in a video? I'm sorry, but like everybody and their mother are looking for a good press day from this situation. I don't know Actual Justice Warrior to know if he's a bad dude, to be clear. So I'm not making any fucking claims against his character, but do you think that Hassan Piker really wanted to hook Ben up with a lawyer because he cares about the Legos? Or do you think that all these guys are jumping in to help because it's a good publicity day if they end up doing something for him?
But these campaigns on social media are clearly working. They're
Why? Wait, can you show empirical evidence that the campaign worked at all?
Influencing companies. Patreon CEO made...
I guarantee he had a different script if it stayed down to talk about how the woke media agenda has taken down GoFundMe.
A statement.
My name is Jack Conti, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Patreon. So after an extensive review and investigation, we have...
So yeah, this is the Patreon thing. Now, I just wanted to point that out because it's weird. Additionally, this is something that a lot of people forwarded me because they really wanted me to see this as well. The American Fork Police Department got called out publicly at a city council meeting. He calls for the firing of police officers who have gone after Reckless Ben.
In the suit back there. And last month, a man investigation of a company was swatted by American Fork Police Department over accusations of theft. The company in question...
Thank you!
Best commentator of the year.
Why is Mark Zuckerberg wearing a face beard?
True.
Was accused of failing to uphold contract with a client in which their $200,000 allegedly worth of collectibles were failed to be paid back upon distribution. The investigator of their efforts, which they stated were to see the collectibles either returned.
It is just bizarre to see this in a public city council meeting.
Or the money paid for, were met with efforts from the police department to do the opposite of that. I wish to make clear that this is not an accusation of prejudice, but rather an observation into the behavior of the officers involved.
Do you think anybody here knows what's happening? Or is this dude just popping off right now?
Upon the investigators' arrival to have a conversation with the company manager, as is required before a civil suit, they were stopped by officers. On drive home from work, the investigator was pulled over and singled out like the man over there mentioned.
There was another situation with a cop pulling somebody over before this.
Shortly after being informed that...
Lower the volume? Lower your volume. How could I lower it more than this?
The court case and the legal process being used were real.
Oh, it gets louder at the end? Thank you for the warning.
The officers proceeded to arrest the investigator. Upon attempted delivery of...
Everybody knows. I don't know if boomers, like all the boomers know.
Of court papers by an
also, depending on when this was filmed.
official, they were also stopped 3 separate times by the American Fork Police Department. And after the investigator set up fund to help out the owner of the collectibles during the legal process, police forces showed up to his domicile and he was held at gunpoint. The police department during this has demonstrated reckless usage of resources and responsibilities,
He's just translated the entire video into a 2-minute speech.
and it has tainted faith
Dude, if he ends this, you gotta watch the video. It's one of the greatest videos ever.
in American Fork's ability to protect and serve. And it is my calling, as well as for a lot of people, that an investigation be conducted into the officers responsible, and if wrongdoing
So does it ever actually get loud, or did you guys just get, like...
is found, to consider termination with replacement.
Oh! There it is! Okay, I literally raised it right into the fucking... Thank you. Thank you for that. You could have told me at 2:08, so the fucking thing... Okay, god damn it. It's all over Utah. The Mormons are watching. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the new Coffeezilla video. Coffee is an unbiased middleman who's been covering all types of scams. And I don't know why I'm not subbed on this channel. I'm subbed on the other one. But Coffeezilla's been covering every fucking scam, every weird business thing. He's getting sued by Logan Paul for his investigation in CryptoZoo and his other partial ownership venture that he was doing. I'm forgetting the name of it, but we also covered that as well, especially on Kavos' channel. And he's kind of the guy here. People are like, I don't like Reckless Ben. He's too reckless. Okay, well, Coffeezilla is not as reckless. He'll actually talk to everybody, get to the bottom of it. We'll find out a bunch of new info here. I can't wait. I've heard the first 20 minutes of this video is absolutely fucking fire. And this was on Patreon. They're saying it was well worth the money. I'm glad it came to YouTube as quick as it did.
Asked me to find it. And after seeing the cops point guns at YouTubers, people get arrested and sued for 1.
This is so entertaining. It is such a great drama. This is like it's not going to be the biggest thing that happens all year for like at least on the channel, but man, this is probably one of the most fun ones that we're going to cover all year.
3 million, I decided enough was enough. This looks like a case for the internet detective. This time in the $10 million Lego studio.
I also like how the title is I found the $200,000 missing Lego, as if it's like a single brick.
So I talked to every suspect involved. What I found shocked me.
I'm interested. My big thing here is I want to know what he pulls from Crystal. Because Crystal's got the sussy meter up a little higher than what I would personally like. And again, Coffeezilla's got that production value. He's got everything you'd want. If we're not getting part 3 this week because of the fucking TRO, this is about as good as it's gonna get. Let's fucking go!
Okay, before we can find these missing Legos, let's give some background. A massive Star Wars collection was put on consignment at a Lego store called Bricks and Minifigs.
We're also probably going to get some answers here, hopefully, on whether consignment was allowed at Bricks and Minifigures when the deal was made.
In Salem, Oregon. Consignment just means the owner, Brian Mansell, gave it to a store to sell, and he was supposed to get a cut when it sold. The entire time, he maintained ownership of the collection, and a social media post estimated it to be worth about $200,000. But then, on November 14th, 2024, everything went wrong. This was the night that Crystal and Ben Gorman, the prior franchise owners of the
So this is the night they were chased out of the store. That's the footage that we saw in the original video.
Salem store, got kicked out by this guy. That is,
what is his name? Not fucking, it's the other dude.
Is Brandon
Best.
He and his partner, Josh Johnson, ran a sister store in Eugene, Oregon. And Brandon drove up that night to kick the Gormans out. Brandon and Josh would be taking over the franchise in Salem. And this is the exact moment the Legos go missing. As that store is getting handed over, the question is Brian's collection in it?
And that's the big one. Where are the Legos? Were they sold and the money was still owed? Where is the dead stock? Was it moved in a U-Haul truck? Was it taken by Crystal? Is it still in the store? We still don't know where these Legos are.
Here's what the official Bricks and Minifigs press release reads. Quote, after taking over the store, we discovered a small number of sets valued between $2,000 to $5,000 that could be possibly related to Mr. Mansell's collection. But there's a problem here. There should be over 10 times that amount in this store, given their internal records and what we know the estimated value of this collection was. So if corporate's saying there was only $2,000 to $5,000 in the store, something happened to these
Salem's not far from Eugene. Oh, and the other speculation, you're right, is that it was brought to the Eugene store, which was also owned by Josh and Brandon.
Legos. But what? In order to solve this case, let's think about the suspects. First, who was there that night of the handover? It's only 3 people. Crystal and Ben Gorman, the former franchise owners, and Brandon Best, one of the new owners. These are our 3 biggest suspects, but they aren't the only ones. I want to address a few other suspects at the very start here. First of all, maybe this is just all the result of, plain old thieves breaking in. What about that possibility?
Hi, I am Chris. I was the previous franchise owner who signed the collection agreement with Brian Mansell.
And I'm Benjamin.
By the way, as far as I'm aware, she's still just like interacting with the subreddit even now. It's just interesting how active she's been throughout this whole thing. It raised a bunch of red flags for me in particular.
Gorman, I am the silent partner who's really bad at being silent.
We did have a couple of break-ins at the store. None of Brian's collections were in the police report or stolen during those.
Okay, so the Gormans say emphatically it wasn't thieves, but if that's the case, what about the guy who was arrested? I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Reckless Ben. This is the YouTuber who started it all with a documentary.
Do we think that Ben stole the Legos?
Henry, I tracked down the thief who stole $200,000 of Lego. Maybe it's the perfect crime. Make a video tracking yourself. Now, for our theory, it's worth noting Ben is currently facing a RICO lawsuit by...
Dude, a RICO lawsuit, bro. They're ripping out the shit that took down the fucking mob to take down the Lego man.
Bricks and Minifigs. He was even targeted with a search warrant for stolen Legos.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
The owner reported overhearing conversations about...
I love the Mormon soft-spoken guy. The cop is one of my favorites.
Possible stolen Legos.
And on top of that, Reckless Ben was even accused of stealing the Legos by the current franchise owner.
I stole the Legos?
What do you think of the theory that it was Reckless Ben? He stole
Thank you!
On Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffels appreciated the shout out.
Thank you.
The Legos.
It's absurd. We didn't even know Reckless Ben.
Yeah.
He had no interaction, no relation to us, no relation to the store. That doesn't hold
You don't have to know him for him to sneak through the fucking walls.
any water.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Apologies to the genius cops in Utah who play different.
We play differently.
Dude, we play different over here. That proceeds to do some of the creepiest, craziest shit you've ever seen.
But I don't believe that Reckless Ben stole the Lego, mostly because he couldn't. He just wasn't there that night, and I don't even think he knew about these Legos. But who does Ben suspect is holding the Legos since he did this whole documentary series?
The guy
Bricks and minifigures. Yeah. I'm guessing bricks and minifigures is his answer.
who runs the entire company, Ammon McNeff, he personally came out to talk to us.
So what's going on?
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
I wonder if Ben was originally in this video, but because of the TRO, he replaced it with all the footage from the actual video of Ben talking, so it's not any new media.
Is that a lie?
No.
That's a lie. You did take the
Because Brandon Buckingham flew across the country, I think, to interview Ben right before the TRO, and I don't think that can get released now.
Legos.
No. So we have our attorneys have visited. So who's
Brian Mansell.
Okay, and who is that?
He's a guy who had he had like $200,000 worth of Legos in your guys' store.
Never happened.
My name is Ammon McNeff. I am the CEO of the Bricks and Minifigs brand.
So my name's Matt McNeff. I'm the COO of Bricks and Minifigs.
So yeah, they did interviews here. They did interviews on the stream. So let's see what we got out of him from an actual interviewer, not just somebody. No offense to ACOB, of course, but ACOB is not like an investigative journalist. He's a Lego guy, and he did a pretty good job. But let's see what Coffee gets out of him.
The people you just saw are the McNeff brothers. They agreed to speak with me to try to clear their name. I asked them, do they have the Legos?
As many often do.
What I can tell you is that we don't have it. We've never
Well, then why are they trying to negotiate if they don't have any of the Legos?
had access to them.
It seems to kind of go missing. Parts of it seem to go missing on November 14th.
Well, and I guess no, not at all. I'm going to say, that is not accurate at all. Because
So you think that the collection was in the store at the time or elsewhere?
Elsewhere. When you look at Mansell's own words that he reiterated to a podcast last year, he explicitly stated to another podcaster the sets were moved off-site for security.
The collection will not be stored on site after hours for security reasons, and after Sunday, the sets will be available for purchase but stored.
Wait, after hours, meaning that they're there during the day and they're taken at night. So that would mean, presumably, around the time that she was getting thrown out of the store, no?
Elsewhere.
Now, one thing that's been a big subject of the Bricks and Minifigs kind of story is, hey, there are these off-site locations. Can you address what that is? Is that true?
So the off-site location and
was it her house? It was her house, wasn't it?
The letter that they are that corporate is referring to is the original press release that we released when we were launching the
Oh, so is it we said it wasn't stored there so they don't break into our store?
Collection. In that press release, because we had previous
so many break-ins, we said that, but it wasn't accurate. Yeah, that's going to be a bit difficult, you know, because I mean, you have to take them at their word.
Break-ins, I specifically included the location.
Like you added language that would be
that after this weekend, those Legos would be stored off-site.
Yeah, again, like this is one of those things where we lied in our press release. Okay, but are you lying then or are you lying now? And this is like when you're being asked about it in the future, it sounds, oh yeah, it could totally be that they said that in the press release for that reason. I just don't know how I could judge that if I don't know you personally, if I don't know like who you are.
To deter any,
like if I don't have like a character judgment, you're just somebody online. How the fuck could I know?
Future thefts. They were briefly stored off-site after that launch weekend while I bought safes for the back room, and then they were moved back into the store.
Okay. Oh, so she's stating that after this they were in the store. It just took like a week to get there.
Okay, so for most of the time, the sets were in the store after y'all got the safe.
So I'm wondering now, will Bricks and Minifigures confirm the safe existence? Like, does the safe still exist in the back of the store? Because why else, if she's not telling the truth, why would a Lego store have a safe big enough to hold a huge collection of Star Wars Legos? I imagine that's not standard at a Bricks and Minifigures location. I imagine that most locations that sell Legos don't have a huge fucking lock safe in the back of their store.
Safes in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ammon McNeff suspects that a lot of the Legos weren't there that night. And then on the other hand, we just heard from Crystal and Ben Gorman explaining the off-site story, saying that later they no longer used those off-site locations. But what do we really know about the Gormans? They are the former franchise owners after all. I mean, shouldn't we be suspicious of everyone? They're one of our key suspects. They were there the night we lost Brian's collection. They were the creators of the consignment deal after all. And one group in particular is pointing their finger at them very hard. It's the McNeff.
It's the people who are also being accused of having the Legos. I mean, this is the tale, right? Crystal wants to say that Bam did it. Bam wants to say that Crystal did it. Ben's in the middle of the entire situation, and Brian wants his Legos. Those are all the players.
McNeffs who say they were behind on payments.
We started getting calls from the landlord letting us know that Crystal was behind on the lease payments at the location. We had also gotten a couple of notices from some of our vendor partners that bills had not been paid by the store. And so we felt pretty strongly that there was going to be a risk of her just, you know, like attempting to file bankruptcy, doing some of these other types of things, which we've had franchisees do in the past, and that's problematic. So that's why we sent him up there to take some video footage. So we needed to just be prepared if we needed to do a hostile takeover, which, you know, like can happen in franchising where a
Dude, you know what's so funny about the language there? A hostile thing that could happen? Because they're accused, and I don't really know how deep it gets. I haven't seen it, but I do have it on the docket so we can look at it later. They're accused of having a hostile takeover against their own dad to take them out of the other business that they're in called Legally Mine. Do you see the irony there? Legally Mine, like the way that they call the Legos legally theirs. They have a separate company called Legally Mine, and they're accused of fucking doing a hostile takeover to take daddy out of the company.
franchise owner just, you know, kind of tries to steal inventory and do some different things that way.
Okay, so Bricks and Minifigs' story is that they were worried about the Gormans skipping town, so they sent Brandon back.
Also, Brandon seemingly was kind of hostile. He wasn't hostile as in he was like It was like, get out of the store, we're taking over.
As a secret shopper on October 24th, 2024. This is weeks before the takeover. Brandon takes a video of the store condition in preparation for this handover. But at this point, Brandon does not announce himself to Crystal Gorman. Later, though, on November 14th, once again, the same concern about the Gorman stealing or theft was expressed by the McNeffs.
Brandon was trying to make sure that they weren't taking things from the store, and so he was kind of trying to make sure that he wasn't putting things, like hiding things in the back, and that and while he was watching that, trying to make sure Ben wasn't grabbing stuff from the store.
Also, this kind of proves that Brandon and Josh worked at corporate, right? Like, they became franchise owners, but previously they worked at corporate.
Or moving or doing anything along those lines.
Like, Brandon Best seems like muscle for a Lego company. That's what I've gotten out of this.
Because he just got a weird feeling about the whole transition.
She took at least one, if not more than one, cartfuls of things out to her car with her coat draped over it.
So yeah, the McNeffs say, look, they don't trust the Gormans. And they explained it, even further. They said, hey, there's some issues in her past.
She apparently has a retail theft and other criminal arrests on her record that we were not aware of.
When was that?
I don't know. This has been brought out by several people online now.
Now look, that's a...
But you didn't operate off of any of that information when the story was relevant. It just seems like more well poisoning.
Huge accusation to bring up, and so obviously I wanted to talk to the Gormans about it.
They're like, she has a history of some type of burglary, theft.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
All right, that's not really a compelling answer from her so far, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh. Nope. Well, yes.
Well,
you know about this.
Explain.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I don't want to be mean to Crystal for no reason, but that did not instill me with a lot of Wow. Wow. You know about this. Oh, tell them.
When I was 19 years old.
How long ago is that?
I am 45 now. So this was in 1999. Something that happened 25 years ago, has...
Just let her speak? Well, you know what's crazy? Actually, this is on Coffeezilla's channel right now, so you could just go watch it there, because I'm here to speak, to be clear.
No reflection and no bearing on what happened in the last 2 years, my management of the store, what happened the night corporate seized the store. It is another deflection. And it infuriates me. You're gonna try to publicly embarrass and shame me for somebody that was manipulated.
She sounds like she's doing a wrestling promo. Just answer the fucking question.
By local police departments when she was pregnant and 19 years old.
What do you mean pregnant? Where did pregnant come from? I was 19. This was 20 years ago. To act like this has anything to do with any current situation is delusional. End of question. Move on to the next one. I was pregnant. I was in a bad way. I was 19. Wow.
That's my response to that. I am so sorry. You're gonna have to blur and cut a lot of this, but that pisses me off. I own what I have done. I own the mistakes that I have made. You cannot intimidate and bully me into backing down when I know that legally. And
is every question gonna have this fucking statement at the end of it? Are we gonna have would we have a call to action at the end of every question?
Morally, I am in the right and I have the evidence to back it up.
Sir, the question was, do you have a criminal record? That was it. That was the only thing. That was what they were asking you.
Wow, this is getting kind of...
Yeah, it's preachy. Wow, yeah.
Nasty and personal at this point, and I just wanted to give people kind of their side. But at every turn, I hope you understand, I'm getting contradictory stories, down to if the McNeffs knew about her history in the first place.
They're bringing up something that I told them about.
Wait, you told them?
Told them. They asked me.
They said they had no idea. They said if we knew, we would have never hired.
All right, well that would be actually significant if they're like, oh, we knew about we didn't know about it, but we actually knew about it, and they're bringing it up now. That would be funny.
Hired her because we would not have hired her had we known this.
Yeah.
I told them I had a record from when I was 18. There was a family issue and didn't go into.
Wait, wasn't it 19? like 30 seconds ago? Did I mishear that? Am I wrong? Did she not say it was 19 like 30 seconds ago? Dude, I have a criminal record from when I was 19 years old. If you're gonna come after me for my criminal record from back when I was literally a pregnant 18-year-old, okay? Sometimes people don't beat teen pregnancy. I was 17. On my 16th birthday, when I stole those items, I cannot believe that my 15-year-old self is being held down for this crime right now.
All of the details, but they were like, that's so long ago, we're gonna hire you based on who you are now.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. You guys can make up your own mind. My point is,
who cares you're 18 and 19 in the same year? People who like consistency. So yeah, it is actually super important to point out when there's a complete inconsistency with such a simple question. Hey, what's going on? Future Nick here. I wanted to quickly go back and reevaluate this position here because I did get some pushback in the chat, and I just want to say that I'm doubling down, 100%. Oh, no, you're being too mean to Crystal. Oh, you're not letting her speak. She's rambling on uncontrollably, doing an anime protagonist fucking monologue about how she's in the right and she's gonna be taking the fight to bricks and minifigures. The question was, do you have a criminal record? And she goes, yeah, when I was 18, or I got booked when I was 19. There's a dispute on the actual age or whatever in her own story, but that's fine. Okay. The reality is, just answer the question. I don't need the whole anime protagonist monologue. It honestly makes you look more guilty when you sit here and just keep rambling on and rambling on. And you know how I know that? Because later on in the video, when we learn some new interesting details about Eamon McNeff, suddenly the whole chat is able to identify when he's adding way too many details and rambling on at a really awkward time of the video. Now, because that's Eamon McNeff and we hate him, that's easily understood. But when Crystal does it, it's like, hold on, wait a minute, man. You're being too mean. I just don't care. Sorry. So I'm here to try to get to the bottom of this situation. Every single person here is a suspect, whether you like them or not. And that's where I stand on it. If it turns out that Crystal has done nothing wrong, that's great. I'm hopeful that's the case.
Look, at this point, let's stop talking. Show me the Legos.
Where I was told we are 100% have possession of photos that prove that the Gormans are lying. And then you guys are telling me we 100%...
Does it matter? Yeah, it's an investigation. Like Reacher said, details matter.
Have possession of photos that prove this side's lying. Who's gonna drop the photos first? I mean, I feel like someone just has to, somebody's right here.
And after a lot of convincing, both sides agreed to show me the photos, corporate and the Gormans. In fact, I scheduled the calls to do this an hour apart from each other. But let's remember their positions for a second. The Gormans say whatever was left unsold of Brian's collection that was in that store spreadsheet was in Salem store the night of November 14th. Then you have corporate side. They say whatever.
I'm just curious, if your whole plan is just suck the dick of every single person involved in the situation, why are you even invested in more information on the story if you've already made up your mind? Because apparently the chatters have the entire thing pegged. So you might as well just testify. I think you can get Ben out of it. If you guys use all the Reddit energy you have to not be critical about this, maybe you could even convince the cops to avoid it.
Whatever was left that night was maybe $2,000 to $5,000 of Legos. The rest was either stolen by thieves, the Gormans, or held off site. It was not in that store. And on both sides, there's a lot to lose here, right? You've got the Gormans, who basically have been insinuated to have been stealing. And for Josh and Brandon too, the new franchise owners, there's a lot on the line. I reached out to Josh and he told me, I think her pictures would only show a few sets and minifigs. I replied, so if I can prove that the Lego sets were in the store, that will prove Brandon was lying. Josh replies, if it shows something different, then yes, I will eat.
It's just so funny that Josh has lied through every facet of the situation, like clearly and consistently throughout. So literally nothing that guy says is even like, I don't, there's no metric where I could believe him at this point. He's like Boy Who Cried Wolf so hard. Every single thing this guy has said is sus. He's been weird with the cops. He lied to Ben the entire time. It's just, yeah, no, he is just not worth engaging with in any capacity.
My words. So the stakes have been established. And let's see the evidence.
It makes
Nicholas,
it more difficult.
The GOAT.
When
Thank
the
you for
two
$5,
guys who are in
my
the
bad.
store for the longest period of time are both proven unreliable narrators.
Starting with Matt McNeff. First, he showed me the video, October 24, 2024, for a baseline of how the store looked.
So this is the Salem Kaiser location, is that correct?
Salem Kaiser.
My point is, like, you better hope if it turns out Bricks and Minifigures did steal the Legos, you better hope it was the McNeff brothers, because I don't know if I don't know if anyone will ever find them without a court order from fucking Brandon or Josh. Like, I don't even, where do you even start with that?
Your location, yes.
So is it fair to say I'm seeing quite a few Legos here? I mean, I'm seeing a store.
Everybody sucks here. Well, I like Ben. I think Ben has acted completely recklessly, and he's definitely done stuff I disavow, but I like him because he's hilarious.
Legos, you'd agree.
There's a good amount of Lego on hand. This isn't what I would say.
Dude, if you just made a GoFundMe and gave him the money and then and you were done with that, it wouldn't have been as entertaining. It probably would have got Brian his money faster, and people wouldn't have got sued, and people wouldn't have got swatted. But well, I'm not the one dealing with any of that stuff, so it's hilarious to me.
It's a well-stocked Bricks and Minifigs, but it's not terrible. It's I would say a little below average as far as overall stock.
Is Bricks and Minifigures not just like, since it's like a GameStop reseller, the stock is whatever the local people there sell back to the store, right? Like you can stock some new sets and stuff because you're an authorized Lego reseller. I'm sure you can access stuff that way. But the big shit, the stuff that people really want, it depends on who's willing to sell it to a GameStop type business.
So now let's go to November 14th. Can you still see?
Like not every market probably can manage a Bricks and Minifigures in it. There might not be enough collectors in the area.
My screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So November 14th, when Brandon was in there helping.
Wait, this is the day. This is like the big day.
This is the day.
Hold on, I gotta prep myself emotionally for this.
Okay.
This is a big deal. This is D-Day. This is the big moment. This is Brandon takes over the store. We don't know where the Legos are after this moment.
We don't know where the Legos are after this moment. And I want to point out again that we've had this for a while. We haven't this is the first time we've shown this publicly. We've been waiting.
Dude, what is wrong with these? Dude, Matt McNeff, these guys are like cosplaying intelligent people. They're actually retarded. They're like, I can't talk about this, everyone. We can't operate off emotions here, chat. We can't operate off emotions. We can't be answering any questions. They go on a YouTube live stream flaunting a TRO, giving fucking details about the case and stuff that they'd argue in court. Now they're going to Coffeezilla and they think that this is going to get them out of it publicly. So they're disclosing more information that's vital to the lawsuit. It's just bizarre how stupid these people are. If you're suing, sue. Shut the fuck up and handle it in court. They can't do that. They need to fucking go public to defend themselves. They're actual lol cows trapped in a corporate body. It's so sad, dude. These guys aren't YouTubers because I would make so much money if they were.
For our attorneys to give us the approval to say, hey, this is okay now to share in this capacity. So,
like, these guys are like allergic to sabotaging themselves.
We'll go through these pictures.
They're gonna sue Coffeezilla too. You're gonna have to get in line.
This is what Josh saw, or not Josh, sorry, Brandon saw. He took pictures of everything in the store, all the inventory in the store.
And again, unfortunately, your source here is Brandon. Are we gonna see every inch of the store? And how do we know it's not before or after? If things were moved, how do we know he didn't move them first? Why would I trust Brandon Best's word? Why would I trust Josh's word?
What the shelves look like compared to what you just...
I don't think any of these guys are going to be honest unless courts like compel them to be honest. That's the reality, but I will give it a shot.
Saw a moment ago.
Okay, so I'm seeing a lot less. Just to state the obvious, go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like way less.
So yeah, the pictures I was being shown on November 14th, those shelves looked emptier than they did on the day of October 24th. But to be fair to the Gormans, they addressed the empty shelves themselves.
As we get to the very end of this video in particular, right here, you'll see that empty space right here. So this is the retired and certified set section that we have to keep separate from the new in box.
Okay, so the retired section, those are the big money sets.
Current sets being sold by Lego. All those empty spaces up there were the sets that we had on display during the day from Brian's collection that every night when the store closed, we pulled off and put back into the safe and then put back out in the morning.
So when they say, see, there's empty space on the shelves, yeah, because we put them in safes at night to keep them safe.
Because we have giant...
Again, this should be extremely easy to see. They should have footage of the safes. Unless the safes have been moved.
Window.
Yeah, it's an explanation that kind of makes sense given the history of burglary. Now, of course, this is something I had to ask the McNeffs about.
Is this a case of, did y'all see Star Wars sets in the back? Did y'all not see the Star Wars sets in the back? Did he take, not in the back, but specifically in a safe? Like there were a bunch of Star Wars sets in
All right, this is the big question. This is what I was hoping for.
a safe. Did Brandon see those? Has there been talk of those? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. My understanding is that he took pictures of everything, and all those photos I showed you of the Star Wars were all the photos, or was literally all the Star Wars inventory in the store.
Yeah, the McNeffs say all of the photos should be with Brandon of all the Star Wars items. And to be fair to them, they showed me a lot more pictures and even showed me a spreadsheet of all the Star Wars sets in the store the night Brandon took it over. And it valued to about like $5,000 to $10,000 or so. But then
how does $200,000 worth of Lego fit in a safe? Well. For example, if there was I think he had 2 Sky Cities, right? Was Sky City like that's 11 grand by itself? It depends. It depends on how rare the sets were. If they're all retired rare sets, some of these individually could be $7,000 or something. I don't think they all were, but like I think if you look through the stuff, like I read on Reckless Ben's subreddit early on that he had 2 Sky City sets. A Cloud City.
I had to ask.
Cloud City? How much is Cloud? I looked up Sky City. What is Cloud City? The Cloud City Boba Fett is like the most sought after thing. Cloud City Lego. Price. $15,000 new and sealed. So yeah, I mean, these things get expensive. People don't seem to understand. They see Lego and they're like, oh, that's kind of overpriced. $199 for a Jeep. But the real money in Legos are retired sets, and that would be making up the majority of Brian's collection, right? They show it? Yeah.
Sorry, here's
these things, these get really expensive really fast.
another kind of set.
Okay.
Do you think y'all have all of these?
Very likely.
Okay.
Again, I'd be surprised if we didn't.
But then I couldn't help myself. I started to bring up some of Crystal's photos to see if they matched up.
Have you seen this before?
Not that I recall.
So these ones aren't there.
So do you see that?
I'm gonna make this full screen.
Yep.
So do you see it's in like some kind of like a safe thing? I don't know if you can see the sides there.
Looks like a bookshelf to me, but sure.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I think the important thing is making sure that all of these are in the inventory for Mansell.
Wait, let me go back.
To see if they matched up.
Have you seen this before?
What was the original picture? Okay, those are out.
Very likely.
Those aren't in a safe.
Not that I recall.
So do you see that?
Yep.
So do you see it's in like some kind of like a safe thing? I don't know if you can see the sides there.
Looks like a bookshelf to me.
Yeah, it looks like it's made out of metal, sir.
But sure.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So I think the important thing is making sure that all...
Like a bookshelf with a fucking... Do you see this? You see this part, sir? Do you see it's got hinges? And it looks like it's metal? And it has scrape marks on the side where you can see the original color of the...
All of these are in the inventory for Mansell.
Yeah, metal bookshelf.
Sure. That's cool.
Yeah, I love the metal bookshelves that have doors.
75041.
Yep. The Vulture Droid.
75169.
169 I'm not seeing, so there may be... Okay, so there's one that is not on our list.
Ooh.
Let's try this. 10240.
Okay, nope, not seeing that one either.
Ooh.
What about 9493?
3. I don't see that one either. So maybe those were locked at the time, and Brandon did not get those pictures.
I have a question. It was a stupid question, but it's my question. Why would Brandon have the passcode? I guess she had to turn over the key. If she bought that, do we know if she ever turned over the method to opening that safe?
All right, that's kind of a problem because the Gormans had over 200 photos of this store. I definitely knew looking at these photos, there's a lot more Legos in the Gorman's photos, by quite a lot that Brandon's photos just didn't show. But corporate didn't really see it that way.
But still, in the grand scheme of things, we're not talking, again, 10 times the amount of sets here.
I don't know. I haven't shown all the photos yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of photos.
But I don't know exactly how much.
If there's a calculable figure that we can look at and say, great, this is what was there, I promise you, it's not $100,000 worth of Lego. And so where's the rest of it? He got me. I don't know.
Maybe I'm a little too in my head about this U-Haul story. You don't think it could have
She posted a security video on Reddit telling him where the key is?
been some U-Haul thing? There's no way.
Oh, yeah. Have we talked about the U-Haul?
So this is the big thing that people were talking about. The U-Haul clip is apparently ridiculous.
Yep.
And I keep asking myself again, why? Why is he doing this interview? Why are you here, brother? Did you guys not learn your lesson last time? How many times do they have to teach you this lesson, old man? Why do you keep calling YouTubers to talk about this? I thought the YouTubers were what fucking brought the eternal cloud of death down onto your company.
We gotta talk about the U-Haul for a second.
To me, it's obviously a safe. Oh, it's a safe. It's obviously a safe, yeah.
This is another one of those things that was like really disputed between the two parties, was this U-Haul that supposedly was driven up to the store the night of the takeover.
So when Brandon came
Nicholas!
to
The goat. What are the U-Hauls
the store that night, he was driving a U-Haul truck.
Now, in typical fashion, this was immediately disputed.
Brandon showed up to the Salem store in a rental car. When he came to
one more interview, Nick, they can turn it around. Yes,
to get the keys from Crystal. He was there in a rental car, not in a U-Haul.
It wasn't until after he told me he was taking the keys and locking me out that I really kind of paid attention to the fact that he had a large, not the small, the large U-Haul truck.
So yeah, I just kept hearing about this U-Haul truck. Now, why is it significant, U-Haul or not? Well,
so are we watching in real time the owners shift blame towards Brandon and Josh? Because that's the vibe I'm getting is, oh, I guess we don't have that photo. I guess we're gonna no longer do business mutually with those guys. Do you think at this point the Bricks and Minifigures CEO and COO suspect that Brandon and Josh have done something bad here?
One, a U-Haul truck can fit a lot of Legos, but the big reason it mattered to me was because I was actually called by an ex-employee of the Bricks and Minifigs store in Eugene, Oregon. Remember, that's the one that Brandon and Josh owned. And he told me something very interesting.
I'm a former employee, started in 2024, and I was working under the old manager, Brian, and he sold the store to Brandon Best.
Nicholas DeOrio
Hey,
streamed it this
thank
last
you,
night,
Teddy.
and after watching Nick's
Thank
stream,
you
I'm kind of
kindly.
black-pilled on this shit.
I'm in a lawsuit cause a YouTuber caused some chaos for my company, but yes, I will do an interview with a YouTuber instead of just shutting up and handling it in court cause we're smart.
And I'm not trying to shit on the ACOB guy because I genuinely think he did a fantastic job. But they're calling into YouTubers they've never even seen before to defend themselves. It is primo cow behavior.
What store was this? Bricks and Minifigs where? Okay, now what did you see that made you want to talk to me?
I saw Reckless Ben's YouTube video about the Salem store closing down because I was talking to my co-workers about the situation about Salem, and we were told through other employees that it was just a bad area to work in. It was like haunted, if you will, is what was going around. But
What did they used to have witch trials there?
after seeing the video of Reckless Ben, we exposed them, and it makes a lot more sense with what we dealt with Brandon and Josh. Like, oh, Crystal stole Lego sets and bolted out of the country.
Who says that?
Dude, who just said Salem brick trials? Why has that not been used yet, dude? The Salem brick trials. Oh my god.
Brandon Best told us when he was jumping up all the Lego sets to us that night. And it was a bunch of used Lego sets. That set were like saran wrap. They had Star Wars City. There's just a lot of stuff.
Cloud City. They had Cloud City. Okay, bro.
It was like in a medium-sized U-Haul truck.
This is fucking crazy if true.
Wait, they brought a U-Haul.
And it looks so much worse after they got fired, mutually parted ways. It looks so much fucking worse, knowing that they are no longer working there.
Haul truck.
Yeah, from Salem to Eugene.
And to Eugene, and it had a bunch of Star Wars sets on it?
Yeah, Star Wars sets, like everything. A bunch of new stuff too.
Wait, when and was this when they took over the store from Crystal?
I believe so, yes. Yes, because he said that Crystal stole Legos and left the country.
While he has a U-Haul of Legos?
Yeah.
Interesting. Weird.
And he said...
Crystal stole all the Legos! Hey, Brandon, what is that suspicious Lego-shaped U-Haul truck parked out front?
We're just gonna hold on to this stuff until corporate tells us where we have to distribute it. And we're like, oh, well, it'd make more sense if we could take it because we're kind of struggling with, the product we put on the shelves.
Oh my gosh. We really got to find out. Was there a U-Haul that night or not? Because everybody's disagreeing about it. This Eugene, Oregon guy says, oh yeah, a U-Haul showed up with Star Wars sets in it. Brandon was talking about the Salem store. You've got Matt McNeff saying there was no U-Haul there. It was a rental car. You've got Crystal saying, yeah, I thought it was really weird. There was a U-Haul truck there. So I told the McNeffs, I really got to find out what the truth is here.
If you know anything about it, let me know, because that's just something I heard.
I do, and it has nothing to do with the Salem store. Well, at least not the Salem store in the way that it is there.
Notice how Brandon is the only one we have seen the least in this entire series. I mean, that's not weird. He is a TRO and he can't give any new interviews. If he was in this video, he's been removed, I imagine, right? There's old footage of oh, I'm sorry, I'm retarded. Dude, I thought you were talking about Ben. I'm stupid. Never mind.
Brandon showed
too many B's
up to
yeah.
The Salem
no, I'm
store
my bad.
in a
My
rental car.
bad. My bad.
When he came to get the keys from Crystal, he was there in a rental car, not in a U-Haul.
So when there was the handoff, there wasn't a U-Haul, it was a rental car.
Correct. He was there in a rental car.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think any of the, like, if you were to look at the footage, the Ring cameras, all that stuff, you won't see a U-Haul sitting anywhere in the parking lot.
So after hearing all of this, I realized, look, I just got to find the evidence. So I start sifting through these photos I have, right? I realize I have a parking lot photo. I check it. No U-Haul, just a red truck out there. I check another photo where you could see the window, but the problem is it's night outside, so you can't see. And so I'm looking at everything I can, and there's just nothing, I have this alternate angle. I'm looking at that, and then...
Oh no! Oh no! There it is! There it is!
Wait a minute. Zoom in on that photo. Bring up the brightness of this photo a little bit, and... my gosh. There's a U-Haul in the parking lot right outside of the store the night of November 14th, 2024. This is something that Matt said he had seen footage of, and it couldn't be.
It's just a U-Haul shaped Lego, yes.
True.
And again, I believe I have seen footage from that night that shows clearly out into the parking lot, and there's no U-Haul.
Ooh, that looks bad. That looks really bad. Why would he say that?
After seeing this, I said, I really have to make a call. And that's when the story changed.
So last night, I talked with Matt McNeff. I brought up this question.
So he's talking to Eamon now.
Of the U-Haul. He told me emphatically there was no U-Haul. Y'all came to me this morning. You said, hey, we looked into it. There actually was a U-Haul.
Uh-oh. Hey, we've got some new information. It appears there was a U-Haul
there that night. Can you clear up what that's about?
So there's actually two different things that are going on here, just to help you understand.
Dude, his mustache is lethally bad. Did he not think that, like, this is going to be used against him in the court of public opinion?
And I don't know if you want this particularly not on the record, but we do know of a disgruntled former employee that worked at another location.
Why would he want this not on the record?
That back on the 24th of October, there was a U-Haul.
I know what he meant. If you would like to hear this, which is not on the record. So Coffeezilla is he's in expose mode now.
That went to a storage unit in Salem for another previous franchisee, like for a different situation that we had just gone through some things, and he had a previously, like, hey, I have some inventory that I didn't turn over that I was supposed to. It's at this storage location. Can you guys?
So the U-Haul that was there to deliver product to the shelves
can come pick it up, and so Brandon was sent on that day
to bring new. Dude, Brandon wasn't the stealer of Legos. He was bringing a deliverable asset
to pick up with a U-Haul inventory that then he moved down, but that was October 24th.
So when we're talking about this,
Nick just started insulting me viciously on Twitter.
Ex-employee, you're saying they are conflating the October 24th event of the U-Haul coming up to Eugene with Legos with some time after November 14th, after the store takeover. Is that correct? Am I
A lot of Star Wars collections in Oregon.
Understanding that?
Sorry, Oregon.
Yes.
I can't believe there's so many Lego Star Wars collections floating around.
So this is now kind of a strange story. Corporate is saying there was a U-Haul at the Eugene store dropping off Lego, but that was from a different night, different collection. The CEO says Brandon showed up to Salem on October 24th for his secret shopper job with Crystal, and separately, he also was getting a different collection of Legos that also included Star Wars. And
it's so funny that Brandon also walked in to spy on Bricks and Minifigures the same way that fucking Ben inevitably would. Isn't that actually fucking kind of ironic? Everyone's just going in the store and filming.
That's what he brought to the Eugene store.
I wonder if he would have got trespassed.
The former employee is remembering. Then, weeks later, on November 14th, Brandon supposedly...
Dude, he was literally driving in Oregon. Dude.
Shows up.
I was literally driving in Oregon. That guy's dead now.
Again with a U-Haul, but the reason isn't for hauling Legos.
Brandon flew in to Eugene that night.
Dude, he flew into Eugene, bro. I like money. Eugene Krabs has the Legos.
At midnight. So on the flew from Utah on the 13th, but landed in Oregon on midnight of the 14th. Went and got a rental truck, and then went and stayed at a trailer that had previously been moved up there in anticipation, meaning a camper trailer, in anticipation of the potential hostile takeover previously.
Is that why he had a U-Haul?
What?
Is that the reason he had a U-Haul was for this camper, or what's going on?
Dude, he was camping in Oregon.
With the
yes, so
he was camping in Oregon.
So then what happens is he takes his rental vehicle truck and he tries to connect the trailer, the camping trailer, to that truck, and it's not rated for that particular weight, and he realized, oh crap. He called around and found that U-Haul had a rating for one of their box trucks, and so he grabbed that, went and got it at 10 a.m. on the 14th, and so he then went and hooked that trailer up to the camping trailer to a U-Haul, drove that trailer down to another location where he could set up the camping trailer in Salem, dropped off the camper trailer, and then he arrived in a U-Haul to the Salem store, and then went in, said hi to Crystal, and then as she was leaving, the door shuts, and so he locks it, calls the locksmith, takes him a while to finish up the changing of...
Dude, this is the longest, most drawn-out story I've ever heard.
The locks. Brandon at this point is pretty exhausted, so... and he has an hour drive.
Dude, he's super tired. He was actually in a dark headspace having to do this to that family.
Back to Eugene to drop off the rental truck.
Yeah, dude, we're detail maxing on this one. This is the same kind of thing, dude. Can we just get like a pretty solid summary here?
So he drops it off at,
Yeah, we went from there was no U-Haul to now a very Crystal-centric storyline here, where we're just going and going and going and going and going and going.
Midnight.
Like, this is the issue I had with Crystal, too. It's like this long, drawn-out... Just answer the question.
Or 1 o'clock, something like that, grabs the rental truck.
You could tell none of this is going through a lawyer. Dude, there's no way. They said there's no U-Haul. The next morning, there was a U-Haul. And then by the end of it, They're giving this fucking... There's no time for a lawyer to approve this statement. There's no time. In 24 hours, the lawyer is not approving. This guy is fucking shot from the fucking point. Like, he's just delivering it. There's no written aspect to this. It's off the dome. This is from his heart.
And then heads...
Liars over-explain. Yeah, it's kind of what I was insinuating. It's a lot.
Back up.
Could be true, but it's kind of a lot.
To the camper trailer in Salem. And then, you know, like it's probably...
This man is like the quarterings pants at Walmart, full of shit.
Probably gets in at around 2 or 3 in the morning.
The way that Coffeezilla describes this is he talks to Matt McNeff. Matt says, we saw the front, there's no U-Haul. The morning comes the next day, they're like, hey, Coffee, we were actually wrong. We checked the footage again. There was a U-Haul. Can we hook up and have a conversation? And then Coffee set up the conversation the next day. That's what I got from this video with the brother, Eamon McNeff, the one that you know with the iconic mustache. And then Eamon is here telling us this long, drawn-out, full understanding, spoke to every party. This is like 24 hours after there was no U-Haul.
Can I say something to you, Nick?
Spends a couple of, gets a little bit of sleep before he has to head back to the...
Jesus, Nick, move on from the crystal ban.
Store at 9 a.m. before the other employees get there. The timeline that is trying to be portrayed just makes absolutely zero sense.
Okay, so I asked, obviously, for documentation of all of this from Brandon. And here's what I got. First, the U-Haul contract on November 14th. This checks out what we already know. Then I got sent a photo, the last one Brandon took in the Salem store, dated 9:44 p.m., where you can see what looks like the inside of a bird cage that the Gormans had.
Oh, no, are we getting the bird allegations here?
Lastly, I was sent a photo Brandon took of the mileage in the U-Haul. As he dropped it back off...
Bro, my headcanon is that bird got eaten. I've got no evidence to support that. It probably didn't happen. But I am thinking that the bird has been consumed.
Off at the rental place
Not
on
the
November
bird.
15th.
Dude, in my headcanon, the bird was eaten.
12:41 a.m.
Didn't they say they surrendered it to a shelter? Yeah. Yeah, they did. I gotta be real with you, chat. Unless a court has compelled them to say that, I don't believe it. These guys are all liars.
Now, the time gap there is about 3 hours between
the avian did not survive.
last photo in Salem to dropping the U-Haul off, which is a bit of a problem for our timeline.
Yeah, it took like 4 hours. I mean, I worked till like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I gotta get up early for, my other job.
You moved 4 hours of Legos out of this truck.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, what kind of Legos takes 4 hours to get out of the truck?
So, as weird as this
Dude, if 1/3 of the money's in minifigures, how many fucking bins of minifigures are there?
U-Haul thing is, the timeline just doesn't fit, to be honest. If it took 4 hours to unload, you can't also drive to another city, load and unload and drop off the U-Haul in that time. But still, even if this is true, it's pretty weird. And it's one of the most bizarre stories I've ever heard, to have a U-Haul thing back to back. One of the times you're picking up Legos, the other time you're not, you're taking a camp.
It almost seems like there's a part of this story that we're not being told, or some of this is not accurate.
Nevertheless, without more proof, we kind of have to move on to another theory of how to find these missing Lego. This time, let's take the photographs that we have and reconstruct what was in the night on November 14th. Remember, that's the moment we lost the Lego. And this time, we're going to combine it with 2 more things. First,
Nicholas, the goat.
He's
Thank
kicked
you
the
for
bucket,
$5,
shuffled
my
off his
man.
mortal coil, run down the curtains, and joined the bleeding choir invisible.
from corporate, I got the point of sale records from the Salem store from 2023 to 2024. And secondly, from Crystal Gorman, I got her internal records of Brian's inventory of what was sold or not in order to pay him and keep track of prices. Now, before we piece things together, I need to address something. At the beginning of this story, you saw the social post saying this collection was worth $200,000. That's what everyone knows this story as, the $200,000
Yeah, the number 200,000 comes from Bricks and Minifigures Instagram.
Lego collection. But sadly, that post was entirely wrong. In Crystal Gorman's inventory, which has a high and low estimate value of these various Lego items, the real estimated value is about $107,000. They give high...
So they overestimated it to boost the credibility of the collection, to draw more people into the store. I imagine.
Estimates and low estimates, but that's right there in the middle. And for simplicity, I'll just be using averages and estimates here, but understand that, you know, these numbers are not firm given that they're unsold Legos. It's just rough possibilities. But the point is, it's worth nowhere near
minifigures not included
$200,000. And Reckless Ben, the one who made the original video covering this, said that surprised him.
Yeah,
oh, fuck, dude. This guy's... Oh, so he could be in the video and answer this question because it's not explicitly about bricks and minifigures. Okay.
This entire time, literally every single person's been telling me there were $200,000. Like, that's how much, like, you could sell all these sets for.
My original assessment of about $200,000 was going up to his father's house and looking in 3 different rooms with all the sets. It was before I'd...
So she shot from the hip and didn't do any actual research and put that up.
Actually gone through and had set numbers and done an actual, like, evaluation. I looked at it and went based on
But you see the issue is if you're off by, like, 50 grand, 30 grand, 20 grand.
Things progressed, and as I started to delve more into the actual inventory.
Now, to be clear, though, it's an Instagram post promoting a Lego collection. When she posted that, I highly doubt that she had thought that it would reach the magnitudes of importance that it's at right now. I could give her some credibility there, because courts weren't going to look at that Instagram post to decide whether the Legos were really worth $200,000.
Sorry.
But people should have been a bit more honest with Ben prior to making that video. If he wasn't told that it wasn't 200K before, somebody should have told him.
And evaluating it, that number changed. But
yeah, the thing is, honestly, if this whole situation didn't go down the way that it did, her getting the number as 200,000 would literally have not mattered. It wouldn't have had any significance at all. It wouldn't be a thing.
We put out the press release well in advance of the event itself, so that press release went out before I had those full numbers. So we went, this is a nice even number that will grab attention and bring people into the store. So we went with that.
And yeah, I mean, to believe that is accurate at the high
end. In her lawsuit, she claimed 250,000.
It was one of those things where.
Now, again, the only way that could be true is if in the years since this has occurred, the Lego sets have appreciated in value significantly, which is not unheard of. It's not unheard of at all, but we're operating in the span of 3 years here. I don't think that collection's doubling. So I would be interested to know where that calc comes from.
When she was looking through and going,
160 is the high end value. Yeah, I see nothing that could possibly achieve 250,000.
Well, it says this, and
oh, maybe that was the full inventory. Okay.
It says this, like, you don't think even at the high end?
You haven't actually seen the spreadsheet.
No, I haven't.
You know, she kind of looks like Stormfront from The Boys.
You might want to cut that part out because he hasn't.
That's not a mean comment. It's just she kind of has the Stormfront hair.
Actually, seen the inventory sheet.
The spreadsheet says about from between 85,000 to 120 something thousand. In the midpoint, about 107 or something like that. Of what was inventory. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, are you saying this is what Clara would have wanted? Shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk about that show ever again.
With MNR.
Okay. Whoa! What? Okay, dude, that's a crazy reveal. We weren't there.
You don't think even at the high end?
You haven't actually seen the spreadsheet.
No, I haven't.
You might want to cut that part out.
We were at 30. Okay, we're here.
Because he hasn't actually seen the inventory sheet.
Oh no, dude. There's 2 moments there. This should be off the record, and there's another one where it's like, you should cut that part out. We just heard it.
The spreadsheet says about from between 85,000 to 120 something thousand. In the midpoint, about 107 or something like that. Of what was inventory. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this has been a really big point of misinformation to clear up, because if we're ever going to find the missing Lego, we need to start with the right number, the right value. It's about $107,000. Now, between 2023 and 2024, the Gormans record sales of about $24,000 of Brian's collection in their inventory tracking list. And of those sales, Brian was entitled to about 65 to 70% of it. He was paid $17,000, which roughly tracks with that. Which means on November...
I thought so much more of this collection was sold. That's insane to me. That's crazy, bro.
November 14th.
So he only got 17 grand of the $107,000 worth of consigned Lego, and that's a median estimate, which could go even higher.
The big night. The remaining amount of Brian's collection that should have been in there is about $82,000.
That makes so much more sense as to why the collection would be larger and it would take a while to fucking...
Now, it doesn't take a genius to realize this is a very different number than corporate provided, who found...
Yeah, corporate's like, we found like $5,000.
Found only $2,000 to $5,000 of it linked to Brian. And later they said they only found $13,000 to $15,000 in total Lego Star Wars.
So you're talking maybe $11,000 to $15,000 total Star Wars, and that's all Star Wars inventory in the whole store.
So that
is why I just think it needs to go to court.
That's corporate side of the story, but I didn't want to take their word for it. So I went through Crystal's photos myself, which she shared with me, and hired people to go through and hand tag the Star Wars Legos.
And this was the guy he was asking on social media, like, is there anybody here who knows Lego Star Wars enough to itemize these lists?
That were in these photos. We looked through over 200 plus photos, multiple videos, and matched what we saw with Brian's collection. In the end, I ended up with about $21,000 of Legos, matching Brian's collection that can be proven to be in the store on the night of November 14th.
And that's more than they're even estimating they have. Oh, God.
Now, to state the obvious, that's about 3 to 5 times what corporate estimated, at least on their press release. Now, yes, there are inherent errors in these estimates. Maybe we picked up some Lego that matched Brian's collection, but wasn't Brian's. But even though this is a bigger number than corporate said, I have to admit, even with pretty generous assumptions being made, there's still a huge gap of about $61,000 here that I just couldn't find. But then I learned Brian had made a special side deal with M&R Productions.
Bro, how?
Who had recently...
Bro, is this the guy who sold M&R Productions, like the 17,000 fucking Lego Commander Codys that he fucking ripped the capes off of and sold to everybody?
Purchased some Legos.
Wait, you just wrote yup? No. You're kidding.
From him. And this is where it starts to get messy. So these are the pictures that M&R Productions sent me, looking at the Lego that Brian sold him. This was stuff reportedly in storage, and it's interesting because of an early inventory list, which had a column called location that Crystal used.
That was from Brian?
And it listed a lot of the Star Wars items as being located in what they called storage. Now, previously, I was told that all of the stuff in storage was put back in the store, but there's a bunch that's on this list that I can't find in the store.
He got those, dude. I just shot that from the hip because I knew he talked about it. Wait, are you fucking kidding me?
The company is getting away with $200,000 worth of Legos in Lego City.
What?
Hey, build you case.
Dude,
set up your GoFundMe.
You're fucking me right now. There's no way.
84-year-old man in Lego City.
Dude, I was watching that.
Stolen separately.
I was casually watching M&R Productions talk about all the Commander Codys he bought and exactly how he was divvying up the pieces to sell. To keep the prices down on his fucking website. Those are Brian Mansell's Legos?
Here in these pictures.
Is this really more info we should have been given? Yeah!
Now, I've been assured, by the way, that most of these Legos were not part of the inventory spreadsheet. They were never given to Bricks and Minifigs. This is a separate part of the collection. But I did a check, and 100% of the items that match the Brian collection inventory just so happen to be listed with a location of storage. So this starts to make things incredibly fuzzy, and I'm inclined to believe that a lot of these are part of that same inventory list.
What?
Now, if we take that value of the side deal, that's about $10,000 to $20,000 that's not actually missing. Now, it was at this point I started looking more at the point of sales records. I realized maybe we could find some of this missing Lego there too. So this is from the Salem internal store records. Like, I guess this is what is entered when someone does a sale. And it's everything from September 2023 to November 2024 of Star Wars anything. And by the way, before we continue, yes, this was all a lot of work. If you want to, please support us on Patreon.
Yeah, I think that you should throw Coffeezilla some fucking money here, bro. This is fucking great.
That's how this show gets made. But anyways, according to those records, about $51,000 in sales went through during this time period in a way that matched Brian Mansell's collection. Now, that really worried me because Crystal's inventory list showed only $24,000 in sales for Brian, and Brian was only paid for that amount. But suddenly, I remembered back to a time when I spoke to Crystal, and I asked how much was sold prior to the takeover.
Which is something similar from what you told me, Crystal.
Yeah.
You told me, hey, it was about 50-something thousand.
Yeah.
But Brian was only paid 17,000.
Okay.
And it
What do you mean okay? You mean yes?
should have been about
24.
double that. And I'm just trying to make sense of that, given that everyone's accusing each other of theft right now. You understand?
I mean, without seeing any of those records, without seeing those individual tickets,
I don't like that answer.
I can't answer that any better.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a bad answer, Crystal.
This is kind of a problem. The math ain't math in here. 65 to 70% of 50,000 is almost double what we believe Brian was paid. And digging into the details, it turns out a lot of these sales come from what Crystal's spreadsheet actually categorizes as layaways, meaning they were marked as having been sold, but layaways are when someone puts a down payment on an item and later pays it off. But
she's not a numbers person, and she shouldn't run a store.
The problem was there were a lot of these, worth about $20,000 in layaway.
I mean, her business is numbers. Bricks
And that
numbers.
felt a little strange to me. And because of that, I asked Josh Johnson, the incoming owner.
Ooh, Josh is in this?
And he responded, quote,
Oh, I thought it was going to be an interview.
They're worth 2 to 3 items on layaway when they took over.
So on the list of on the inventory list, do you know about how many?
I think this is going to look a lot more gray when we find. There's going to be a lot of gray bricks. It's going to look like a modern Star Wars set when we see the end of this.
Layaways.
I haven't gone through and done a count, but I know it was vastly more than 2 to 3.
It was about 98.
That makes sense.
So there were about $15,000 to $25,000 worth of sets on layaway.
Okay.
That's just the part that's surprising. That's the part that I can't get my head around. I go, how could, let me just be really honest. I don't believe there was that much layaway. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. How could there be that much?
Josh is lying here. He previously said, is this it? Are you talking about this? Joshua Johnson said to Zilla that only... you thought I did. You motherfuckers thought I wasn't prepared for you, right? Yeah. Listen, all right, I might have clicked the fucking 0 button on my keyboard, but I was ready for your question. Joshua Johnson said to Zilla only 2 to 3 layaway items were in the store when he took over. One problem is he told Oregon police otherwise. In the report, he told them the vast majority of the items in the store were layaway items. However, due to the claim that Mansell continues to call the business despite it being told not to, and encouraging others to do so as well, he does not want to give these items to Mr. Mansell. He added he doesn't feel that he needs to, since the store's inventory became him once. Where's the layaway things? They obviously didn't want to actually highlight the thing that matters. Okay, here. There were many items in the back of the store at the time. He said the vast majority of them were layaway items. He said that people would come in and prove they'd put money down for an item and pay the rest, and they'd give the customer the items that they paid for. Ooh.
DeOrio, commentator of the year, the best commentator of the year.
Messy.
Honestly, at this point, I think this is a case of everyone involved being just incredibly incompetent.
I think that there's a lot more incompetence here than people are willing to admit.
Layaway. I don't know. It's like I don't believe, because I was talking to some people about bricks and minifigs. They go, yeah, there's some layaway. There's not that much layaway. I talked to people who were neutral, kind of on corporate side, but also people who were just normal bricks and minifigs people. They say there's not that much layaway. Help me understand why there's $20,000 worth of layaway here.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely. If you talk to other Bricks and Minifigs locations, layaway is extremely rare. I think outside of the Brian's collection, I don't.
Okay, good. I'm not crazy here. So then, why was there so much layaway there?
No, absolutely not. Outside of Brian's collection, I think at the time we maybe had 2 used sets on layaway outside of his collection. Okay. It was not a
the bird did not survive.
Common thing traditionally. I don't know that we'd ever done layaway before the collection came in. With Brian's collection, it was a little bit different because so much of this collection were new in box, all in one place, reasonably priced, and a lot of the harder to find items. And so customers would come in and put,
Can I say something?
I'm going to guess probably half of those layaway items were not going to be sold to the person who took them on layaway.
Wait, what?
We had several that would put them on layaway and then change their mind.
Oh.
So this was something like, somebody would come in and want 10 different sets, but only be able to buy 1. Can I put the rest of those on layaway so you don't sell them? I'll pay $10 to put these sets on layaway.
It's like they're basically pre-ordering them.
Traditionally with layaway, we would ask for 10% down. They'd have 30 days to make their next payment, or we'd refund the layaway amount.
Dude, who the fuck wants to do 100 layaway, like 50 layaway items? That's crazy, dude.
And then
that's so much books. People are saying she's not a numbers woman. Well, then why the fuck does she have 50 sets on layaway?
Back on the shelf.
That's crazy.
Shelf. Because this collection was the collection.
That makes sense, even though I wouldn't allow it. Yeah, no, I would agree there.
It was, and I wanted to.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't. I would never do this. That sounds like a terrible fucking idea. That sounds like way more effort than it's worth. Like, do you have to refund the people the money that they put on layaway if they come in and they're like
people the opportunity to. Sorry, dogs.
Yeah, it'd be a fucking nightmare.
To get these sets, we were a lot more generous with how long and the amount of payments that people could make towards the layaway.
So presumably that's because they're in a small market area with a huge fucking expensive collection, and the collectors weren't going all the way there to get them.
So a lot of these...
Or if they were going all the way there, like it made more sense to take the potential sale than wait for a guaranteed one when fucking... I don't know, Johnny Got Rocks pulls up with fucking 15 grand to buy some of the most expensive Star Wars Lego sets the world has ever seen.
We had several of them. I think one of the Ewok villages, we put on layaway 4 different times, and then it came off of layaway and back.
I hate that all I see is store. I'm sorry.
On layaway and then off and then sold. So a lot of these would have gone on and off of layaway and then back out on the shelf, just depending on the person who was putting it on layaway. That was completely unique to this collection.
So, look, I'll be honest. I don't trust Josh Johnson, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I don't think the Josh Johnson guy is on the up and up.
Something is weird here.
So, a lot of these are... See, like, look at this. Like, so, like, it says POS final sale price, but it's listed as a layaway, but it's sold for $5.99.
Yeah.
Because it matches with the store sale price.
Okay.
So, were they on layaway? Were they accidentally marked layaway on the spreadsheet? What's going on there?
I mean, without seeing the actual sales
answers.
Ticket and seeing what else, like what items were sold together, what else was sold with it, I can't actually see the sales ticket. We had several layaway items in which customers were putting multiple things on layaway.
Nicholas,
thank you.
The goat.
Thank you for the $5 paying for most of one item, and then, or they were buying, 8 different things together, and then putting all of them on layaway and making payments on multiple items at the same time. Our Ewok village was one of those cases. At some point, he had, I think, like 8 or 9 different items on layaway. So they'd come in and make a payment for a bulk payment. I've got 800 things on layaway.
Do you know if M&R Productions is in this video? Like, does he pop in here?
I'm going to make $100 on my payment. One customer in particular would do that, and then when he'd gotten up high enough to pay for one set, we'd pull that set out, mark it as sold. So without seeing the actual tickets and my layaway records, I cannot answer a question any clearer than that.
All right. So, I mean, that's not really giving me much personally.
But I even found more than that in this.
Okay.
POS data. I also found about $10,000 in sales that match Brian's collection that were not marked as sold under this inventory spreadsheet.
Some of our things that were not found were explained by the POS system because they were found in the POS system as being sold. So like they weren't marked on the spreadsheet, but they were marked as sold via the POS system.
And this is 2024, 2023.
And this is about $10,000 worth of Lego that basically were matched.
Huh.
Oh, God, no. Oh, ow. Oh, okay. Huh. Oh, that's a bad one. Yeah, nuclear, huh?
Of Lego that basically were
yeah, dude, I mean, listen, guys.
Matched.
Huh.
I'm getting fucking crimson flags, but whatever.
See, and I don't know. Take anything happening from, let's see, sorry, I'm trying to do math here. I don't know without being able to see all of the records. There is a possibility that the consignments were ended when I wasn't at work.
Oh, this is so, yeah. Wow.
And I just...
yeah, this is, again, the nicest thing I can say is it's incompetent. The nicest read is that these people seem incredibly incompetent.
Just didn't go through and pull them up. They didn't get put in the consignment ticket. I hadn't gone through those consignments in a couple of months. I hadn't gone through the inventory in the back room in a couple of months. So it is entirely possible there were sales that were finished that I never clocked as being finished.
Yeah, dude, everyone in this situation, wow, I'm seeing this for the very first time. Every person that Coffeezilla talks to, every question they ask, it's Donald Trump finding out Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. It's that clip over and over. What? Wow, you're telling me this for the very first time.
I don't know that without going through and actually seeing it.
But you're saying it's possible stuff was sold, not updated on this inventory list.
It's entirely possible that stuff did not get updated on my spreadsheet. I'm not going to sit here and claim it's not possible. It's possible I missed things.
So where does this leave us? I know some people are jumping to conclusions here, but I must remind you that on the night of November 14th, 2024, Crystal Gorman was concerned about Brian getting paid or not getting paid.
He has not been paid his percentage.
And this is the clip from the Reckless Ben video.
Yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that would be the responsibility of the person who takes over the company.
So, Crystal, ultimately, that's a business thing and not necessarily yours. Brandon will take, because taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
So obviously, one could see that and say she was intending to reconcile with Brian. Maybe she hadn't gotten around to it. And of course, corporate will probably take a more cynical view of what she's doing by printing these receipts. But the point is, regardless of whose side you're on, I think we can all agree there's a lot of weird stuff here on all sides. Abnormal stuff. Sure, maybe you can chalk some of this up to bad record keeping between the U-Haul, the layaways, the $20,000 in Lego sets that corporate called $2,000 to $5,000 that was there that night.
I'm starting to get the idea that neither party knows where these Legos are. That neither party has any idea.
The off-book deal.
It feels like, though, that corporate is trying to push some of the most of the responsibility onto Josh and to Brandon. So that might be by design. I might have been pushed that direction on purpose.
But even if we can't fully know 100%, what these weird things were about, I think they tell a story of what actually happened to Brian's collection. In a way, multiple people.
Also, who's to say that they haven't been sold since then? Who's tracking against a spreadsheet in 2024, 2024, yeah, but 5.
Well, I think are kind of right, kind of wrong. The Gormans were correct.
I have the Legos. They're at my house.
More of that collection was there that night of the takeover than previously thought. But corporate also alleged that some of it was offsite, and that appears to be partly true, although some of that is disputed, and it looks like, way more of the collection was sold and layawayed than Brian was paid for. But all in all, there's a lot less missing.
Did somebody punch Coffeezilla in the face? Are you guys seeing that too? I don't know. Does Coffeezilla have a fat lip on the left side? Did he get like? Did he fight somebody in the streets for these Legos? You see that, right?
Best commentator of the year.
Also as funny as entertaining as Ben is now that we have all this.
It's a shadow?
That dude got way over his head lol. This spiraled for him in
He
a
looks
way
like he has a
wasn't ready.
cold
He
sore.
wanted to make a funny trolling a company video.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Than many people think, especially if your starting number is $200,000.
Dude, Logan Paul must have known.
I estimated, and I must emphasize, estimated with bad records, that there's only about $10,000 to $20,000 in Lego that isn't explained by one of these sources. This isn't to say Brian's been fully compensated. Much of this Brian wasn't paid for that I know of. So I estimate he's still out about $50,000 to $83,000 for Lego he wasn't compensated for. And I think honestly that's something that Bricks and Minifigs obviously should handle and make right. Regardless of what a franchisee does, the new one, the old one, the company
I'm in agreement there.
behind it must stand behind their product, their service, and I can't imagine a better example of a company doing the opposite. Unfortunately, Bricks and Minifigs has chosen to deflect and dodge responsibility at most opportunities and created a really awful customer experience that has
Bricks and Minifigures, the franchise, accepted consignment. Bricks and Minifigures corporate should make him whole. Should have made him whole.
snowballed into this crazy series of events. But instead of taking accountability for that, they've taken an aggressive legal strategy, which I told them personally was a horrible idea. As of writing this, Brian Mansell is being sued for $1.3 million as part of a legal campaign against him and Reckless Ben and any of the associates. Remember, Brian is the same guy who lost all these Legos at Bricks and Minifigs store. And I told the CEO and COO that's ridiculous and they should drop this. Look, mistakes have been made by plenty of people here, but there's a lot more people who have inflicted
Dude, this guy is such a fucking loser.
Self-owns, the likes of which we've rarely seen, by just choosing the worst possible path at every fork in the road. No pun intended. But the best path to making things right, in my view, is by just making Brian whole and moving on. Drop the aggressive legal strategy. You are
not happening. They're not doing it.
A Lego store at the end of the day. You are supposed
They might drop it with Brian, but they're not dropping the aggressive legal strategy.
To be about fun, not about a rerun of Suits. But anyways, that's my investigation. Those are my closing thoughts. And I knew I wanted to approach everyone involved in this whole story.
There's no reason for Brian to be sued. That's actually not true. I think they're suing Brian to try to get as much info on why Ben is here as humanly possible. Because Brian, if they had to get like transcripts and messages and stuff, they could get a lot of info that they could use to attack Ben. I think that's why Brian's name is listed there. And I'm sure any make whole remedy that they'd possibly do with him, like in settlement or coming to the table, would involve giving up a lot of info on Ben.
With my results,
they seem pretty gung-ho to get Ben by any means necessary.
And
reputation be damned or whatever.
See what they thought to close things out.
Does all that make sense to you? Because I'm showing everyone in this
Brian is an avenue to get Ben harder.
Story and saying, hey,
the thing
are
that
any of these numbers blowing your mind, or is any of this crazy to you?
No, it's not crazy. But what's crazy to me, again, like all the photo evidence.
He also might be a bridge between Brian and Ben and Crystal. And honestly, I still, to this day, I don't think that Ben and Crystal worked closely together. It's bizarre that she would keep information from Ben, like that phone call with corporate. Why would Ben have not heard that until Crystal released it in tandem with his video? So maybe Brian is the middleman that got these guys talking and might have additional info there. Because again, they're also being sued by Crystal, or they're also in litigation with Crystal, I think, right? Or they're going to be. I don't know.
That both sides have points to there being $20,000 worth of Lego of Star Wars Lego in the store that night, right? I don't know, man. I'm just like, can people understand maybe why there was some confusion and why there was some hesitation?
We're way past some confusion. Why are you looking? Dude, you're suing people. What are you talking about? Like, there's a little confusion here.
When somebody
We're way past this. You had so many opportunities to make this right.
comes in and says, hey.
if this doesn't go viral through Ben's video, I don't think Brian ever gets compensated. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think he's just perma-fucked.
You owe me $60,000 worth of product and Lego, and we don't even...
Why did the other guy... Is it true the other guys who were considering covering this also got threatened with lawsuits prior? So, again, I don't understand. How do you deal with bricks and minifigures without this entire public crusade? How do you get Brian's money back? What is the other scenario that achieves this?
I know who you are.
They didn't even have a phone number for the owners prior to Ben getting there.
Like, yeah, Crystal mentioned something about consignment on her way out the door. And we go, sure, we'll get that figured out. But then the guy just walks in and demands $60,000 worth of Lego?
Yeah, Ben covered that. No, I'm being rhetorical. I literally think Brian is fucked. Unless there's a huge public campaign, that's the only way he was getting his money back. His family's fucking life savings or whatever they call it. Yeah, that's the only way it was happening, was a huge public social media thing.
Like, what am I supposed to do other than say, cool, show me, can you show me the proof?
The problem is there's so much of a dispute on the timeline, and this is what's going to make this story so hard to tell, is like, they say, you guys are unreasonable. They tried, and eventually...
Dude, people are still sweeping the 18, 19. 18 could have been the event itself. 19 could be the conviction. This isn't difficult. You're crying about a thing that I said an hour and a half ago. It's okay. I think you'll be okay.
See, they gave up, but they say they tried and they were basically met with like...
It could be. I mean, if you provide additional information that wasn't stated in the clip, then yeah, that could probably be it.
Unreasonable requests, things like that. So
verification, documentation, is that unreasonable, do you think?
Well, I think they would say they provided the documentation, and you guys say you need more documentation. So I mean, that's kind of the
right. A spread, like, I understand a spreadsheet and a contract are a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we never got that. That was never sent to us.
Oh my god, dude. Is this... Wait, so this is the new spreadsheet thing that they made the statement on? We didn't know this spreadsheet existed.
Us at corporate, by the way.
Y'all...
I had no knowledge of any of this.
Don't have the...
This is so bizarre.
Y'all do have the spreadsheet, though, yeah? Y'all have the spreadsheet.
That was shared online, but months after we asked for it.
It's...
Bro, everyone was trying to give you that spreadsheet.
Says it's... I'm so confused. It says... I'm on the file right now. It says... Storage used, owned by BAM Franchising Inc. Owner Salem.or bricksandminifigs.com.
What are you looking at?
It says owner Salem.or at bricksandminifigs.com. That's you guys. It says owned by BAM.
What the fuck?
BAM Franchising Inc. It says created September 6, 2024. And when I look at it, this is the Mansell list, I believe.
They had this the entire... Look at his face.
So,
oh my god.
This would have been created under, like, so we have the...
y'all definitely...
Wow!
We have this. Y'all have access to this.
Well, I had no idea. Like, so
oh my god, bro! Every clip is so damning. Dude, nobody's fucking. Every clip is so damning, bro.
If this is the first that anybody has shown me.
Dude, this is the first. Dude, I told you, I pegged this before. Every clip is Trump finding out Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. What? Oh no, you're telling me this for the very first time. Every single clip of this video is fucking Coffeezilla having basic information that somebody else get. Wait, this is the first time I've ever seen this. This is bizarre. There's no way.
Y'all definitely have this. Y'all have access to this.
How are you guys suing and you didn't... Dude, who is your lawyer, bro? You're in so much trouble.
Well, I had no idea. Like,
it's like they didn't know research. They didn't care, bro. They care a lot now. This is recent. This is a new thing they've done.
Nicholas DeOrio streamed about this last night, and after watching Nick's stream, I'm kind of blackpilled on this.
This is the first that anybody has shown me.
I've never seen this. I have no knowledge of any of this.
That a spreadsheet was...
If you watch closely, you can see the smoke coming from his ears as the hamster spins on the wheel.
Created using, like, Bricks and Minifigs, Salem, like, and all of this stuff was archived. This is the first I've seen that this spreadsheet was created by Crystal, and we don't know how accurate it is, how up to date it was. We don't.
Why are you giving a whole fucking diatribe about it, sir? You didn't even know it existed 5 minutes ago. Why are you just spamming?
No, a lot of those.
He's just info dumping right now on a document he's seeing for the very first time.
Things and understand. I appreciate you sharing this.
He sounds like Dark Side Phil, doesn't he?
Today,
he's got like the
Nick,
Dark
would you
Side
consider
Phil
opioids?
thing. No. The entire
This
saga,
entire
yeah.
saga is just the lawyers hitting their heads screaming, "Stop talking, you idiots."
We don't know a lot of those types of things and understand. I appreciate.
He sounds like Dark Side Phil.
You sharing this with us because we had no idea. Again, you don't know what you don't know, and you can't like. We don't know everything, and we don't go like looking in every nook.
We don't go looking. That's not good. That's not good, David. That's not good.
And cranny.
You need to look at every nook and cranny.
Everywhere. Like we just don't know some of those things. So if that's there, we can now have our team go look for that.
We can find, dude. And they literally were like, "Oh, we gotta, dude." We're watching it in real time because they're like, "New spreadsheets have been located." That was their statement when they fired Josh and Brandon. So what happened was Coffeezilla. This is in real time. This is exactly what happened. I honestly, I would bet $5 whole that Coffeezilla shows him the spreadsheet. He's like, oh. So he sends it over to fucking his brother, and they're talking about it. They're like, "Oh my god!" So a bunch of undisclosed things occur, and then that post goes up on their website saying Bricks and Minifigures has fired Josh and has parted ways with Josh and Brandon. What happened in between is a blur, but Coffeezilla handed him the spreadsheet, and then a couple hours or a day later, or however many days later, they posted that public thing.
DeOrio, commentator of the year, the best commentator of the year.
Yeah.
ECAD every clip, damn.
So to be a fly on the wall when Eamon called Josh, when these guys were in a fucking Zoom meeting or a face-to-face conversation, to be a fly on the wall in that fucking convo, that would be all the information we want to know.
When it comes right down to it, they're going to have to make a judgment call and say, who's telling the truth? The people who were taking all the pictures and say, and we couldn't take pictures of everything the night of, but we're being honest consistently, and the people who are saying, there was $5,000 there. Really? Like, that makes no sense. We've got the evidence, and yes, there's a discrepancy. We acknowledge we did not take pictures of everything, but does that mean that the discrepancy is, oh, and therefore these missing,
Before we get back to this, which again, I don't like anything anybody said in this video. Go back to Bricks and Minifigures a second. I can't zoom this in because of the way the site is built.
I just saw Keffel's tweet on Nicholas DeOrio.
Keffel's appreciated the shout out.
Where is it? They mentioned specifically, more importantly, BAM leadership has... No, that's the thing.
Nicholas the Goat, thank you for the $5, my man.
Yeah, it's this. Alright, BAM's current state of its investigation has uncovered significant evidence of gross negligence in how the store was previously operated by the prior owner, as well as operational gaps during the transition and subsequent management of document recovery. More importantly, BAM leadership has personally reached out to Brian to meet and review the documentation and come to a mutual resolution. This makes so much fucking sense now. The findings are directly related to the ongoing situation whose father's collection was in... Yeah, we've been asking for documentation for a long time. They're talking about Coffeezilla delivering that piece of that actual document, and him fucking spazzing out is what prompted those guys to get fired. Coffeezilla handing that document got Josh and Brandon fired. I'm almost positive. Now I reread that statement. They definitely figured something out. Something was figured out in regards to Josh and Brandon, or they thought, this looks horrible. We got to get rid of these guys. This is going to look terrible for the company. That's literally what happened.
You know, like looking in every nook and cranny everywhere, you know, like we just...
Yeah, they learned from Coffeezilla that they had a spreadsheet. It's also possible they knew about it and then people realized it, and then now they're freaking out because they didn't want to talk about it. Maybe they were covering it. I don't know. There's a whole variety of different things that it could be, but it's directly related to Coffeezilla showing it to him. At this moment, the look on his face is whatever happens next, it leads to the firing of the other two guys.
Don't know some of those things. So if that's there, we can now have our team go look for that.
And they did. They did. They definitely did.
Who's telling the truth? The people who were taking all the pictures and say, and we couldn't take pictures of everything the night of, but we're being honest consistently, and the people who are saying, there was $5,000 there. Really? Like, that makes no sense. We've got the evidence, and yes, there's a discrepancy. We acknowledge we did not take pictures of everything, but does that mean that the discrepancy is, oh, and therefore these missing, percentage, whatever that would be, 5%, is some magical other place? Or it was sitting there in the store and we didn't get pictures of it.
If I messed up,
explanation.
If I messed up on
why are we doing the if I messed up?
my record keeping, I will take accountability.
What? I'm sorry. There would be a reckoning coming through if you. I'm like, dude, it's not just I would take accountability. You'd be like in like a lot of legal trouble,
For that. It's possible if my staff,
that's not a good sign either.
Didn't draw attention that consignments had left out, so
there's just no confidence emanating off of these people.
Them to the thing.
I don't know if they fuck it. I'm not accusing them of anything malicious, but like, the red flag is the red flag, and I'm seeing the red flag.
That I will take accountability to that. I am more than willing to do that. I need BAM to show me.
That's what I keep trying to tell you. By the end of this, you're going to see a lot of incompetence, and it's going to be gray. It's going to look like it's going to look like any UCS set that releases, all right? The new Mando fucking N1 Starship, okay? There's going to be some shiny gray. There's going to be some regular gray. If you look under there might be a couple of other colors. Bricks and minifigures probably won't come out of this looking very good. In fact, they'll probably look pretty bad. But I don't know if it's going to be a black and white scenario.
Those tickets.
As they promised to do.
I will sit down with Brian and talk this over and figure out what we missed and where it was missed and how it was missed and make that right with him.
I mean, that's new information no one's ever found out, so that's like awesome. They're gonna lose hundreds of millions of dollars because of their own wrongdoing. They're literally gonna destroy their entire company because they're this stubborn over maybe $20,000 worth of Lego.
Sure, I'll be keeping you in the loop with what
Nice. I'm excited. This was good work. My other final thoughts is, dude, you solved it, dude. That's awesome.
Brandon and Joshua are no longer. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a fucking real sussy situation. He sees it too. Bricks and Minifigures is suing Brian and Reckless Ben for over $1 million in damages. A restraining order is in effect against Ben to prevent him from speaking about Bricks and Minifigs. The Gormans are suing Bricks and Minifigures. The lawsuit claims Brian Collection had an original aggregate value. This is just, 250 comes from fucking nowhere. That's Brian's collection. That's not the entirety of the store. That is an insane fucking number. That is not, they don't even attempt to justify that number in the conversation that they had with Coffeezilla. That's another fucking crazy red flag. Wow. Alright, Coffeezilla's a fucking goat. And we already knew that. We've been on that if you've been watching his other content. This guy is the perfect third party to enter this situation of a lot of third parties and a couple of primary sources to get to the bottom of it, because he's coming in zero bias. There are few people that I respect as much as Coffeezilla. Husband's got another statement in regards to the coffee video. What do you mean the coffee video? Oh, the Coffeezilla. Dude, I'm thinking fucking Reckless Ben. Not Reckless Ben. I'm thinking, what is it? I was thinking of fucking The Quartering. Wait, that didn't sound right. Wait, that didn't sound right. Wow, don't clip that. That sounds bad. Wow, okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. My response to Coffeezilla's video.
Hail and well-met slayers of giants.
Did he say hail?
So, a few of you, just a few, like...
Oh, God.
300,000 of you in
Okay.
the first hour. 1.5 million of you in the first 6 hours have seen Coffeezilla's video about the Brickgate saga, also known as the Salem Lego trials. I just want to say a few things about that. First, I want to thank Coffee for his hard work. Strategy made me feel so much better. See, now the BAM representative told us that Brandon would be doing the inventory, but we've all since learned Brandon and Josh had been told in advance that they would be able to buy the store. We know this.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Because Josh told it to the police, who accidentally leaked their body cam footage.
Dude, the body cam footage is going to end up being significant.
So BAM entrusted one of the people they'd offered the store to tell them what it was worth. We've never received that item.
That is a bizarre fucking... There's nothing about this that makes sense. Every party in this is acting like the absolute worst possible advocate of their own cause. Why would they send in somebody... Didn't we find out that they were, like, working with corporate already? Like, why would you bring in somebody who's allowed to buy the store and have them evaluate the inside of it? Did they not have another employee that wouldn't be compromised in the purchase of said store to come in and then give an estimate on what is owed there? Like, it doesn't make any sense why they would do that.
Inventory. The franchise agreement gives us the opportunity to challenge that
Also, yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have an itemization of it.
Inventory by demanding a third-party evaluator of everything in the store. Of course we wouldn't have accepted their inventory if Brandon was claiming the Mansell sets weren't there. And then they would have had to provide a third-party inventory, which would have either revealed everything inside the store or would have immediately conflicted with the photo evidence. So everything about the missing sets could have come to light at the time if BAM had simply followed their own franchise agreement. And they cannot claim they didn't know they had an obligation to provide us a complete inventory because they promised us one on
I think that's fair.
The phone that night, and it's in the agreement they wrote and signed. Again,
Matt McNabb had a list which left off all the expensive sets.
We now know the guy they sent to the store was someone they'd already promised the store to. Do you think he had any incentive to produce an accurate inventory of what he would have to later pay for the store? Or to deflate the value of the assets to save himself money?
Again, it's just like every aspect of this is retarded. Why would they not do this? Even if you don't like this guy or agree with him or blah, 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 I don't care. Why would they not have a third party come in for their own liability's sake as well to do the inventory? It would, A, benefit the sale of the store.
You could have milked that so much
And
harder.
B,
Big content strategy problems here, Nick. I'll help
it
you
just tells
maximize
me that
your
we're
money,
probably
all right?
not being told the whole story on
Final
that
plot
front.
twist of this story. This is all a massive performance art piece. BAM already paid Brian a long time ago. Ben got everyone involved as actors for his play.
No,
This is all a stunt. It's
Teddy,
the play.
I love
This
your
is
idea.
Performance art boom.
But they wouldn't destroy the entire company.
I leave that to you and a court to decide. But we do know...
That's the... Dude, honestly, I might take a look at this next time I cover it, because it's like 1:12 in the morning, and I want to cover what we have here. I might take a look at that later. But this is the big fucking thing. I haven't shifted my position at all. I don't know what happened here. This stuff makes things look really fucking crazy. A court of law needs to find what happened to these Legos. A court of law needs to subpoena all relevant information. And a judge needs to... this needs to be a civil trial. We need everybody compelled, to be honest. I don't trust any aspect of this at all whatsoever. Coming from really any of these people. A court of law needs to compel these people to tell the truth. It needs to go in front of a judge. I think that's the only way you'll get an itemized, detailed list of everything that's transpired. It's the only way. Yep, 100%. They already do the LLCs. Yeah. Dude. Second half of his video is plugging a stream and buying a Lego. Well, I'm glad I didn't catch any of that. But not a Utah judge. No, not a Utah judge, but you know what I mean. It's like, dude, we could sit here and enjoy this, and it's a fun little soap opera for the gamers online, and I could tell you what I'm speculating, and you could tell me what you're speculating, or get mad at me for what I'm speculating. But the reality of this entire situation is it doesn't end until a judge looks at it. It doesn't end until we get everybody compelled to give the most accurate details that they possibly have, and that will give a hopefully clearer path to understand what happened. And at this point, I think that Brian will be compensated, probably more than what he's even necessarily owed. I don't think that's in jeopardy at this moment in time. So I think it should be full scale ahead. Let's find out what the fuck happened here, because I'm way too interested to never know. I'm way too interested to not know. And I think the police need to be investigated. I think the police stuff is funny too. I believe that they'll be honest in court, but even if they lie, the cops and judges won't care because they'll probably all sit next to each other in church. It depends on where it is, yeah. But you gotta get the feds involved. Dude, it's a good holdover until we wait for Anthony Gramuglia's video on the water weasel. To be honest, I don't know if I have no contact with Gramuglia. When I said that I heard there were videos on the horizon, I did not. I did not. Anyway, additionally here, this is the CEO with the spreadsheet stuff.
I actually think you're a pretty funny
So
guy.
this is LSF. This is not a Ben-centric subreddit, but you have to imagine Reddit is very Ben-centric. So this is the response LSF had to the fucking spreadsheet. There was no U-Haul truck. Brandon only had a rental car. Presents photographic evidence. Oh yeah, Brandon had a U-Haul truck, but for a different reason. Proceeds to then give a very detailed account of how the U-Haul truck, which he didn't recall moments earlier, was acquired that morning. Apparently the recollection was days later. The whole U-Haul part is insane. It went from we have no control over what our franchises do, we barely even know them, to there was no U-Haul, to I can recount every single moment of Brandon Best's day from 2 years ago, and actually he had other things he needed to do with the U-Haul. Yeah, I'm sorry. Them parting ways now is very, very obvious that maybe they don't even buy it, or they're throwing them under the bus. Love the part in the video about the truck. There was no truck. Coffee Show's truck. Okay, there was a truck, but it's not for us. Coffee Show's documents timestamps for the truck's birth certificate. There was a truck. It was for us, but it was not for the stolen Lego. We didn't steal. Okay, Jesus Christ. Why would he get Nicola Coffeezilla? That's the question for everyone. I still can't decide. Does he or does he not have eyebrows? Schrodinger's eyebrows. The crazy part of this is the first solution that comes to mind for me is that if they believe the previous owner had lost or stolen missing items, then they could have just gotten a list of what the original consignment involved, figured out the value, figured out what he'd been paid, figured out which items could be accounted for, and just paid out the amount, and then take the former owner of the store to court to claim what has been lost and stolen. You know the consignment exists, you took over the store, kicked out the previous owner, created a mess, you now have to inherit the obligations of that consignment, and if you can't figure out where the hell the missing items are located, then it is your responsibility to resolve the matter. Sue the previous owners if you think the negligence or malicious actions resulted in those items being stolen or lost. How is this not the first solution? Because they thought they could get away with it, is my personal opinion. But I would agree with the majority of this. Your mistake is thinking that they wanted to fix this and not just steal by conversation. They blame the previous owner. Like, even if you don't believe that Bricks and Minifigures stole it, and you think that they were entirely negligent on this, I mean, even then, it's like, I just don't know why you wouldn't make this guy whole. It's the only reason I could possibly think of, is because you think that you can get away with it, that nobody will actually care, that nobody cares a fuck about this random guy's collection, and you'll entirely be able to navigate around it with just some, like, basic PR, if it comes up, or just kick him out of the store and have him trespassed. I mean, that seems to be their tactic. Negligence is an excuse. He doesn't know everything, yet filed lawsuits, fuck's sake. Coffee may have more cooking because Google Documents keeps a record of who and what when a document is accessed. If he was viewing them from an online shared link to the original file, I'm astonished by people's capacity to continuously lie. If you're not an editor of the document, I don't think you can see that. Didn't an editor give them access? I don't think it'd be a public document. Gave him read access. You can see there's a notice when he's viewing it. It says view only. There was no U-Haul to find a picture, and yeah, he had a U-Haul. Yeah, we saw the U-Haul. The CEO was caught, and he's still playing stupid. Okay, not playing stupid, being a dumbass. Wait, what?
The problem is there's so much of a dispute on the timeline, and this is what's going to make this story so hard to tell, is like, they say, you guys are unreasonable. They tried, and eventually they gave up. But they say they tried, and they were basically met with, like, unreasonable requests, things like that. So
verification, documentation, is that unreasonable, do you think?
Well, I think they would say they provided the documentation, and you guys say you need more documentation. So I mean, that's kind of the
right. A spread, like, I understand a spreadsheet and a
He had all the opportunity in the world to ask for the consignment spreadsheet if he didn't know where the link was. They have never cared to know where the inventory list. Yeah, they just thought they used the la approach. If they didn't steal it, of course, because I know there are people who are like gung-ho that they intentionally stole it, and their CEO is in on it and all that stuff. Let's say that those people are wrong for this hypothetical. They went with the la, I can't hear you approach, la, I can't hear you, not my problem, la. Which is still wrong, in my opinion. You know? Which is still wrong. The CEO is mad. You can see how mad he is that he's caught in a lie and he can't escape. Even if Bam was 100% in the right. It's possible, because people are saying it's definite. They stole it. It's possible that they didn't steal it, but they're then choosing to cover up their friends, Josh and Brandon. Like, it's also possible that Josh and Brandon stole it, and then they chose to cover it up. That's entirely possible, too. That's like another avenue here. It's definitely all gray. Yeah, I mean, I would say for sure. I don't think the numbers that Crystal has given are entirely accurate, and I don't think the BAM headquarters handled this reasonably at all whatsoever under any circumstance. And I think that Josh and Brandon are probably two of the worst people involved in this entire situation, and I don't even know what they did yet. So I don't know the full length of what they have potentially done. I think there's a whole lot of yeah. They're legally mining it. Yeah, dude. It's legally mine. We never got a spreadsheet. Oh, it's literally on my server? Wow. Most charitable I could be is they realized their mistake and then tried to ignore it and then got angry when people pointed it out. The thing is, I think this might also upset people. I think all these people are fucking stupid. I think that obviously Eamon and his brother, I think those guys are fucking idiots. And I think you could see that from the interviews. I think Crystal and her husband are both fucking idiots. And I can see that from the interview I saw today and the weird social media posts that they've been doing with Reddit. I think all these people are fucking stupid. I think they're all they're all their individual breed of dumb. I think that you'll get some clear malice looking at some of them as well. Specifically Joshua Johnson is like the most malicious person I think involved in this entire situation. But I think largely the major issue here is, malice aside, the baseline intelligence level is low. It's very low. We're not operating with any geniuses here. And if whoever did steal it didn't keep their tracks clean enough to get away with it. If it was, yeah. It's just reality TV. Yeah, it's just a lot of stupid people. Eamon is the biggest snake involved in this. He might end up being. Who knows what the next week will bring? Who knows what the future will hold for this story? I think there's one more thing I wanted to cover. Oh, breaking! I just obtained court documents that reveal Bricks and Minifigures owner Eamon and Matthew McNeff executed a hostile takeover of their father's multi-million-dollar company, Legally Mine. This is the allegation that this is a thing that happened. I don't know enough information on this to know it's true, but these are the documents, the filings with the Utah fucking... BAM has been failing since its inception. It's just a legal maneuver from the owners to plunder whatever they can. It's wild. Lego Group, you must sever ties immediately. This is not how you want to be remembered. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. The dad's off the website. It's just an absolute shit show.